Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has discussed his proposed victory plan with the leaders of Britain, France and Italy,
as well as with the incoming head of NATO. This as he seeks to garner military support to shift the balance in the war against Russia as the winter season looms. Well, in Rome, the Ukrainian president had a working dinner with Giorgia Meloni, after which the Italian Prime Minister assured that Ukraine is not alone. Meloni also announced that Rome would host the next recovery conference to help Ukraine's reconstruction in July 2025.
The aim of our support, as I've said again today to President Zelensky, is to put Ukraine in the best condition possible to set up a negotiating table for peace. A negotiating table, as we have said many times, that does not mean surrendering, as too many have suggested in a cowardly fashion.
Before travelling to Rome, Zelensky held talks with France President Emmanuel Macron in Paris. After the talks, Zelensky said that a ceasefire with Russia was not under discussion with the European allies. Ukraine has rejected any peace plan that involves ceding land to Russia, arguing that Moscow must first withdraw all troops from Ukrainian territory. During the talks, Zelensky and Macron discussed Kiev's victory plan to defeat Russia, reaffirming France's support for Ukrainian resistance. Macron said Zelensky had outlined Ukraine's plan for the next weeks and that they had discussed strategy for the coming weeks and months. Zelensky later said on Telegram that the two leaders had discussed the possibility of France and Ukraine jointly producing arms.
Il y a des engagements continus en termes d'équipement et qui sont dans la droite ligne des derniers mois, à la fois en termes d'équipement de défense et de formation.
Zelensky arrived in Paris from London after talks with UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer and NATO Chief Mark Rutte. At the Downing Street meeting, the three leaders discussed the support Ukraine would need in the coming few months. Zelensky continued to push for a nod to use US and UK supplied long-range weapons to strike military targets deep inside Russia. But the leaders cautioned against placing too much focus on long-range missiles, as NATO allies remain wary of a direct conflict with Russia.
It's up to the allies, the individual allies, to decide how weapons they deliver into Ukraine can be used. Legally, that is possible, because legally Ukraine is allowed to use its weapons if they can hit targets in Russia, if these targets present a threat to Ukraine. But whether individual allies do that, that's in the end also always up to individual allies. Of course, we discussed this. I was last week in Kiev, we discussed it today.
Zelensky is now scheduled to meet with Pope Francis and German Chancellor Olaf Scholz before he wraps up his four-stop visit. Meanwhile, Russian President Vladimir Putin is in Turkmenistan. He is due to meet Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian in the capital Ashgabat. Putin is also expected to meet the Turkmen president and take part in an international forum attended by a number of regional leaders.